So now that we've created a list, we can actually start customizing it more and more as we go through. So what we're going to do is look at how you can make those numbers and those letters really change to what you want them to say. And sometimes when you're working with these things, it's important to note that you may only customize these when you truly need them. You usually use the default settings, but knowing how to customize them can save you time and energy in the long run when you really understand what it's doing. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and select all 4 items in my list. And I'm just clicking and dragging to do that. And you'll notice that the numbers don't get selected or the letters don't get selected, and that's okay because it's still applying to the paragraph. And actually there's these little blank spaces that sit off to the right of these lines that I think are important to note because you may have noticed them in the past, but they actually mean something. There is a hidden character at the side called a paragraph marker. And up in the paragraph group right here, you have a little paragraph mark icon. And when you hover over it, it says hit show hide. And it says that it's going to show paragraph marks and other symbols that you normally wouldn't see because your computer actually has to keep track of every time you hit the enter key, the tab key, the space key, all of those things. So when we turn that on real quick, you'll notice that all of a sudden we see these markers all over our screen for our document showing what's actually happening for the document to keep track of when you have those things. So for instance, there's a paragraph marker at the end of each paragraph. There's a little dot between step and the number because that represents a space. And then there's an arrow right here that actually represents a tab. And that's representing this little break right here up at the top that you don't have a ruler on, but that's okay. You can still see that's representing that break. This is important because when we make a change to this, it's applying to the paragraph as well because it's selected inside of our selection. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and I know that was a little bit higher level, but we'll go back. We're going to be looking at our hidden characters a lot as we move through because they're actually the hidden beautifulness of a document where you can truly control what's going on. So what I want to do is I want to adjust these so that I can put like words around the letters or change them to be some other custom format. So what I want you to see if you can figure out first is how to change this to, instead of being A, B, C, D, to actually say the word first, like F-I-R-S-T, first, and then second, third, fourth, etc. So pause the video here and see if you can go figure that out. So what we're doing is we're actually customizing the number format in this list. And that's going to be in that drop-down menu next to your numbers again. But we aren't using one of the preset defaults in the library. We're going to instead define our own. When we define our own, we're going to go down to the bottom and hit Define New Number Format. That's going to open up a dialog box for us to be able to truly adjust what this does. So we can change it right here on the number style from ABC to a bunch of different options that weren't in the numbering library. So you have first, second, third, 1, 2, 3. You have the word first, second, third. You've got all these numbers, all those kinds of things. And actually, I'm going to choose this first, second, third right here so that way it's using it. Then what's also important to note is it'll show it in the preview there. And I can actually even put words and other things around it. So you can see right here in this number format group, this is important, that the word first is in gray. If I change this up here to like 1, 2, 3, 1 is in gray. The stuff that's in gray inside of the number format is actually the portion of the number that Word is going to automatically adjust for each line item. So each list item, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's going to be changing that automatically. So you don't want to touch the stuff in gray because then it doesn't know what to change. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust that back to first, second, third. And I'm going to go ahead and put, instead of a period, I'm going to delete that and I'm going to go first step. And then I can put like a space and a dash. So you can adjust, like, is it a period at the end? Maybe it's a dash, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's a parenthesis, whatever it is, you can change those things. And then you can actually click before the word first or use your arrow keys on your keyboard to navigate to it. And you can say like, this is the first step. And you can actually make every single line in your list say, this is the blank step, and it'll adjust automatically for you. Think also with alignment, this is telling you like, is it aligned to the left, right, center, all those kinds of things. And then lastly, you've also got the font up here. And this isn't talking about the font of step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It's talking about the font of this is the first step. So if I click that button, I can actually go make it be like a different font, make it bold, give it a color, all those things we just talked about. And you can see it's starting to show me down here what it's going to look like. And maybe I do like all caps and I click OK. And in this dialog box, once I've clicked OK, after I change my font settings in the preview, you'll see it says everything is going to adjust with that. And when I click OK on this dialog box, every single one of them adjusts. Now, you may have these weird gaps, and we'll talk about those in a minute, probably in our next video, but you have now, this is the first step, second step, third step, fourth step, and notice that they're changing. And when I click here under step 4, I'm going to hit enter, and it says automatically, this is the 5th step. So it's going to change every single line item for you automatically. So keep this for the next lesson because we're going to continue with it, but that's how you can define your own number format.